I filed the motion to vacate today, but it's more of a warning and a pink slip. I respect our conference. I paid all my dues to my conference. I'm a member in good standing, and I do not wish to inflict pain on our conference and to throw the House in chaos. But this is basically a warning, and it's time for us to go through the process, take our time, and find a new Speaker of the House that will stand with Republicans and our Republican majority instead of standing with the Democrats.
Today, Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene filed a motion to oust Mike Johnson from his role as House Speaker. This comes just months after Kevin McCarthy was removed and the Republican caucus was sent into chaos. Greene is furious that today, with the help of Mike Johnson, the House passed a $1.2 trillion spending package to avert a partial government shutdown that she says is too favorable to the Democrats. The bill passed 286 to 134, with less than half the chamber's Republican majority voting yes. Here's what Greene told reporters on Capitol Hill.
Today, I filed a motion to vacate after Speaker Johnson has betrayed our conference and broken our rules. We were promised regular order. That's what our conference had started out as, with rules and promises to the American people that we would bring regular order back to Congress. Speaker Johnson has betrayed that by passing 3 CRs and then forcing us to pass or to vote on a 2-part omnibus, the second one being today. He also only gave us, I don't even know how, we had 1 day basically to read 1,012 pages, breaking the 72-hour rule. This is a betrayal of the American people. This is a betrayal of Republican voters.
So it only takes one member to seek a vote to oust a speaker. And ironically, this is a rule that Mike Johnson recently said could soon be changed. Greene said in her announcement that her motion to vacate was filed as more of a warning. But when asked if she would go through with forcing a vote on it, she said she would. The House would have to consider Greene's motion within 2 legislative days after she is recognized. The chamber is heading for a 2-week recess, and Greene told reporters she would not call up the resolution Friday, which means the clock to force a vote has not yet started. The chamber could also move to table Greene's motion, effectively killing it, so it's not clear if this is actually going to go anywhere. Greene was asked by reporters how the hell her plan to oust Johnson would work without once again devolving into chaos. And as you're about to see, she had no answer.
We saw one, speaker candidate after another fall short of getting the votes necessary.
Even narrower now.
You can't. How could you possibly even find someone to succeed Mike Johnson who could get the votes, keep this conference together, and not plunge this chamber into chaos?
We're going to have to do it because the country is in crisis. I'm giving my conference time. I'm being respectful to my conference, but many members in my conference agree. Even though it's uncomfortable, it's a process none of us want to go through. It has to happen.
So far, some of the most disruptive and hostile members of her caucus don't even seem interested in joining her. Matt Gaetz, who led the charge to oust Kevin McCarthy earlier this year, told Politico, "I'm not going to question her decision. I'm just not ready to support a motion to vacate." Freedom Caucus Chair Mike Good said, "I don't know anybody who cares about what Marjorie Taylor Greene says." And some Democrats have indicated they would help rescue Johnson if Republicans voted to remove him from power. Cenk and Trey, do you guys think that's the right move? Do you take what she's doing seriously? What do you make of this?
A lot of mainstream media don't give you honest news. We do. You know why? Because of you. Paid membership on YouTube makes all the difference. Hit the join button below and you become the hero that sustains us. So let me start with some of the ways that she speaks, and it's going to be relevant to the story, and then I'll get to the substance of what I think is going to happen to the Republicans. First of all, she's getting a little Washingtonized with the talk of like, oh, we passed 3 CRs and they didn't even follow regular order. Like, I know what that means, but a lot of folks, you lost them. CRs are continuing resolutions. So and I need to explain to you why she's mad, because she didn't do a very good job of it. They're passing these continuing resolutions, which are in essence the budget to keep the government going. And in order to do that, they have to compromise with the Democrats to some degree. But the fact that they won the House means that and the fact that they're so stubborn usually gets them way better deals than the Democrats get. But they got to a conclusion here and they passed it, which you have to. You have to pass something in order to keep the government going. And the really right-wing Republicans either want to shut the government down at all times or propose only their version which has no chance of passing the Senate. It's a total waste of time, and it's a clown show. But Marjorie Taylor Greene not afraid of a clown show. So now on the other things that she said, I think that a lot of the press is getting her quote wrong. They're saying that she said that this was a warning and a pink slip. I don't think she said that. I think she said this is a warning, then a pink slip, right? Rather than a pink slip. And so that means she's like, look, he's not fired today, which if she really followed through on the motion to vacate, he would be, because now only one person can call for a vote. If you call for the vote itself, well, you might be thinking that doesn't mean he's necessarily gonna lose. But the Republicans are down to only a couple of people advantage because so many of them have retired. So, and the minute they lose Marjorie Taylor Greene and a couple other guys, the Democrats have enough votes to block the speaker. So then the Republicans won't be able to get a speaker. But we're gonna come back to the Democrats because they're very relevant to this story. One more thing about what she said. She said motion to vacate, but it sounded like motion to vacay. And I was like, ooh, that sounds good. I want to vacay. When do I make that motion? Okay, but of course, again, to explain, motion to vacate just means we have no faith in the Speaker of the House anymore. We're going to vote on a new Speaker of the House, and that's where they run into the vote issues. But I think that Mike Johnson's probably not in trouble. For number one, some faction of the Republicans are trying to change that rule and go back to needing a majority of your own party to vacate. Okay, and number two, the Democrats are very likely going to ride to the rescue, and I'll tell you why in a second. But first, Trey.
Yeah, well, I mean, one thing I used to say for years up until like recently, the past few years or so, but like when I was younger, I'd always lament the fact that we had all this infighting on the left. I said it was the thing that annoyed me the most about being on the left, is we're always at each other's throats. There's all these like purity tests, you're not left enough, and the hell with you, and all this. We have trouble sticking together. And I used to always say, like, you can say what you want about the right, but they don't do that. Like, they stick together, man. They'll go, as long as you have the R by your name, they'll show up for you. It don't matter, right? Like, you literally could be charged with sexual assault or whatever. They don't care. And I'm not saying that is, a good thing. I'm just saying we could take a couple pages out of their book and be a little bit more unified. But in the past few years, especially like ever since the Kevin McCarthy thing, they're like watching them now tear themselves apart from the inside. I got that word keeps coming up, Schadenfreude. It just feels, it feels different now. Now I'm on the other side of it. I'm like all for it. Like watching them kind of go through what I feel like we've done for years. I don't mind it because they've let the foxes in the hen house, man. The whole party is like held hostage by its craziest faction. And, the downside of that is like, they're taking it over completely one by one. Anybody on the right that has any semblance of sanity left gets ousted in due time until it's nothing but large brain marges left. And that's not good because they've proven that they value sticking it to the libs or, like obstructing the Democrats at all turns. They value that far above making any kind of actual progress in this country or even keeping the country open and operating. So it's not like that's a good thing, but the chaos as it transpires over there, it is at least somewhat entertaining, I guess, if also existentially terrifying. But hey, it's 2024, baby. That's just how things are.
Well, the hard right wing does think that chaos is a ladder. So there's that. But I got more. But go ahead, Jordan.
Yeah, the point about Democrats rushing in to save Johnson, I'm a little confused by. I mean, I'm with Trey. It's enjoyable to watch them tear themselves apart. And we saw how chaotic it was when they were trying to replace McCarthy. Why not let that happen again? Just encourage it. Let them, again, put on display, especially in an election year, that this is a party that can't govern. Yep. You couple both of these cycles, the McCarthy and then the Johnson cycle, with clips from Republicans on the House floor lamenting that they haven't even accomplished anything this Congress. That's like, they're making ads for your 2024 cycle for you. Why are you rushing in to help Johnson? And then also, when Johnson was picked, we saw all of this oppo on his background, his regressive views, but also the guy was a major J6 supporter and an election denier. He helped architect some of the big lie. Why would you want to protect him? Get him out of there. It's a win-win. So I'm questioning the logic behind rushing in to help save Johnson. It's really bizarre.
No, I have the answer for you. You ready? 2 words, AIPAC and Raytheon. So they want that Ukraine and Israel aid bill to pass very, very badly. I use Raytheon as just a placeholder. It's all the defense contractors who are among the most powerful lobbyists in the country. And then AIPAC has been a howitzer through the Democratic Party and threatening to, primary and end the careers, cancel culture, if you will, of anyone who dares to oppose sending a maximum amount of money for Israel, even under these circumstances. So Jordan, you're absolutely right. It makes no sense to rescue the Republicans from their own disaster. But Hakeem Jeffries and the rest of the Democratic Party is thinking, yes, but if we do a coalition with the corporate Republicans, go back to the Uniparty, our corporate Democrats will be thrilled because we all largely agree on all of this. Look, Marjorie Taylor Greene is doing it in an unproductive way. I obviously do not agree with her proposed solutions, but she's not wrong that the Uniparty is jamming these bills through. Some of the stuff in the bills are absolutely necessary, and some of it is pork for all their donors. That is why the corporate Democrats will rescue the corporate Republicans, and together they'll continue to pass everything that the donors want. And that's how this game is played. So that's why, I only half agree with Trey. I think that there needs to be more disagreement within the Democratic Party because I don't want to agree to rule by the corporate Democrats. I don't agree with their positions. I don't want to spend more money on war crimes. And so I think that the correct answer is balance. You have to have enough disagreement within the party so that you're not driving out everyone who doesn't disagree with the leadership. But if you get to the level that the Republicans are at now, then yes, you're at full-blown chaos. So the reason I don't agree with Marjorie Taylor Greene, other than I don't like her policies, is that the reporters there are right. Well then, okay, what's your answer? I mean, this is the same thing I said to our side when they were trying to do force the vote. Okay, fine, you get rid of them, but you have to have a battle plan for, in your world, a really hard right-winger replacing him. And that pathway does not exist. So she doesn't have a plan. This is her just hogging up all the camera time because that's also how this game is played.
Hey, thanks for watching that video. We really appreciate it, guys. And we appreciate it if you become members because that allows us to be independent, honest, progressive, all the things that you don't get from corporate media. And all of that is because of you guys. Hit the join button below and become one of us, become a Young Turk.